Wait, before you scroll, let me ask you this. What if the message you're about to skip is the exact one meant for you today? Life has a strange way of sending signals right when we need them most. This might be yours. Stay with me. You'll understand why missing this could be a mistake. 1. Why we often skip messages that matter. Have you ever noticed how quick we are to scroll, swipe, or move on without even thinking twice? It's almost automatic. Our minds are wired to filter information constantly, and in today's fast-paced world, we're bombarded with so many messages every second, ads, notifications, videos, and updates, that it's easy to dismiss things before even giving them a chance. But here's the problem. Sometimes the message we skip is the exact one we need the most. Think about this. How many times in life have you later realized that a small piece of advice, a book you almost didn't read, or a conversation you almost ignored ended up making a huge difference? Most of us can recall a moment like that. The truth is, our brains crave comfort and familiarity, so when something feels challenging or uncomfortable, our first instinct is to move past it. Unfortunately, growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from the things that challenge us. Another reason we skip important messages is distraction. With endless scrolling, our attention span has shortened. We've trained ourselves to look for instant entertainment, not necessarily for meaning or depth. That means when a valuable, life-changing reminder shows up, we might ignore it simply because it requires us to pause and reflect. And pausing feels inconvenient in the moment. There's also the issue of timing. Sometimes a message appears right when we're not in the mood to hear it. Maybe we're tired, stressed, or focused on something else. But the interesting thing about life is that the right words often come at the right time, even if we don't realize it until later. By skipping too quickly, we rob ourselves of the chance to connect with that wisdom. The reality is, the messages that matter are rarely flashy or dramatic. They're simple truths, quiet reminders, and gentle nudges that can shift our direction if we're willing to notice them. If you start paying attention, you'll see that life is always sending signals through people, experiences, and even random videos like this one. The key is learning not to skip too fast, because the message you almost ignore could be the exact one you need to hear today. 2. The danger of giving up too early. One of the greatest tragedies in life isn't failure. It's stopping just before success arrives. Most people imagine failure as something final, a dead end. But in reality, failure is just part of the process. The real danger comes when you give up too early, when you quit before the results of your effort begin to show. Imagine planting a seed. You water it for a week, maybe 2, but when you don't see a sprout right away, you give up and walk away. Unknown to you, that seed was already developing roots underground, preparing to break through the surface. Had you stayed patient just a little longer, you would have witnessed growth. Life works in exactly the same way. Progress often happens silently, beneath the surface, long before the results become visible. Many people underestimate how close they are to their breakthrough when they stop trying. Countless stories of success, from inventors, entrepreneurs, athletes, and even ordinary people, prove that perseverance makes the difference. Thomas Edison, for example, failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. Imagine if he had given up after attempt number 100 or even 999. The world would be different today. When we give up too early, we don't just lose the opportunity, we also reinforce a habit of quitting. Each time we stop before finishing, we train our minds to associate challenges with defeat. Over time, this weakens our confidence and resilience. On the other hand, every time we push past the urge to quit, we build inner strength and prove to ourselves that we are capable of more than we imagine. The truth is, every worthwhile goal takes longer than we expect. Success is never instant. It requires patience, consistency, and faith that the effort will pay off. Giving up too early not only prevents us from reaching our goals, but also means we'll never truly know what we were capable of achieving. So the next time you feel like walking away, remind yourself, the moment you want to quit is often the moment right before the breakthrough. Hold on, because what you've been working for might be just around the corner. 3. Signs that a breakthrough is near. Have you ever noticed that things sometimes feel the hardest right before something amazing happens? It's almost as if life tests you one last time to see if you're truly ready to handle the blessings you've been working toward. Many people give up at this stage, not realizing that the struggle they're facing is actually a signal that a breakthrough is close. One common sign is increased challenges and setbacks. This might sound discouraging, but think about it. When resistance builds, it often means you're pushing against the final barrier. Just like a seed has to break through the soil before it can reach sunlight, you may have to endure extra pressure before your effort produces results. Another sign is feeling stretched beyond your comfort zone. Growth never feels easy. If you're suddenly facing new responsibilities, difficult choices, or uncomfortable situations, it could be life's way of preparing you for the next level. Breakthroughs rarely happen when everything is calm. They often show up when you're being stretched the most. You might also notice unexpected opportunities appearing, a new connection, a chance meeting, or a door opening in a way you didn't plan. These moments are not coincidences. They are reminders that things are aligning for you, even if you can't see the full picture yet. Another powerful sign is the urge to quit, despite deep down knowing you shouldn't. This inner conflict is a clue that you're on the edge of something important. If your mind keeps whispering, keep going, even when you're tired, that's a sign to trust your effort and stay consistent. Finally, breakthroughs are often preceded by a shift in perspective. You might start noticing patterns, gaining clarity, or feeling a renewed sense of determination. This inner change is usually the last step before external change shows up. The truth is, the darkest part of the night comes just before sunrise. In the same way, when life feels the toughest, it might be because your breakthrough is almost here. Instead of giving up, recognize the signs, stay grounded, and keep moving forward. You may be one step away from the very thing you've been waiting for. 4. The power of patience and consistency. In a world where everything feels instant, fast food, same-day delivery, viral trends, it's easy to forget that the most valuable things in life take time. Success, personal growth, faith, and even healing all require patience. Without it, we chase quick results and get frustrated when things don't happen immediately. But here's the truth. Patience is not just waiting. It's trusting the process while continuing to move forward. Think of patience as the soil and consistency as the water. You can't expect a seed to grow into a tree overnight, but if you water it regularly, day by day, it will eventually grow strong and bear fruit. Many people fail not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they stop watering their goals with consistent effort. Consistency builds momentum. Small actions repeated daily, reading a few pages, saving a little money, practicing a skill, compound into massive results over time. It's like pushing a heavy wheel. At first it feels almost impossible, but with steady pushes, it starts to roll on its own. That's the reward of consistency. Once momentum builds, progress becomes easier. Patience, on the other hand, protects you from discouragement. Without patience, you'll expect immediate results and give up when they don't appear. With patience, you understand that every effort, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your goal, even if you can't see the results yet. History is filled with examples. Great leaders, inventors, and achievers didn't get there overnight. They failed, learned, tried again, and kept showing up long after others quit. Their success wasn't just talent, it was the patience to wait and the consistency to keep moving. The combination of patience and consistency is powerful because it guarantees growth. You may not control how fast results come, but you do control whether you keep showing up. And the ones who show up again and again eventually see the rewards. So the next time you feel impatient or tempted to stop, remind yourself, small, steady steps win the race. Patience keeps you calm, consistency keeps you moving, and together they create unstoppable progress. 5. How distractions steal opportunities. We live in the most distracted generation of all time. Notifications, endless scrolling, constant updates, and multitasking pull our attention in every direction. While it might feel harmless to just check for a minute, these little distractions add up, and they quietly steal the very opportunities we're working toward. Every opportunity in life requires focus. Whether it's studying, building a business, nurturing relationships, or deepening your spiritual journey, attention is the currency of success. But when your focus is constantly interrupted, you end up spending energy on things that don't matter while missing the things that truly could change your future. Think about how many times a distraction caused you to delay something important. Maybe you postponed finishing a project because you got lost in social media. Maybe you skipped a meaningful conversation with someone you love because your mind was elsewhere. Opportunities don't always shout, they whisper. And if you're distracted, you won't hear them. One of the biggest dangers is that distractions make short-term pleasure feel more important than long-term growth. For example, watching one more funny video feels easier than writing that chapter of your book, applying for that job, or practicing that skill. But while distraction gives instant comfort, it also takes away the chance to move closer to your real goals. Another way distractions steal opportunities is by creating a false sense of productivity. You might spend hours busy scrolling, responding, or clicking, but at the end of the day, nothing meaningful has moved forward. It's like running on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not actually getting anywhere. The saddest part is that opportunities are often time-sensitive. A conversation you ignore today, an idea you dismiss, or a chance you delay might not come back again. Life rewards those who are awake, aware, and ready when the moment appears. Breaking free from distractions doesn't mean cutting yourself off from the world. It means learning to prioritize, choosing focus over noise, choosing long-term gain over short-term comfort. When you do, you'll start to notice the opportunities that were always around you, waiting for your attention. Remember, your future is built by what you give your focus to today. Don't let distractions steal what was meant for you. 6. Why timing is everything in life. Have you ever wondered why some people succeed with the same idea that others fail with? Often it's not about talent or resources, it's about timing. Life operates in seasons. Just as a farmer doesn't plant seeds in the dead of winter, certain opportunities only flourish when the timing is right. One of the biggest mistakes we make is trying to force things to happen before their season. For example, rushing into a career, relationship, or project without preparation often leads to disappointment. On the other hand, waiting too long, hesitating when the doors open, can cause us to miss chances altogether. Timing is about balance, acting when the moment arrives, but also being patient enough to wait until it does. Think of stories we admire, inventors, entrepreneurs, athletes, even spiritual journeys. Behind each success, there was a right time when preparation and opportunity aligned. Take Apple, for example. Personal computers existed before Steve Jobs, but the world wasn't ready. When the timing finally clicked, innovation turned into revolution. In personal life, timing shows up in subtle ways too. Maybe you've experienced a delayed opportunity that later turned out better than what you originally wanted. Or maybe you crossed paths with someone at just the right moment who changed your direction. These aren't accidents. They're reminders that timing matters more than we think. Another reason timing is everything is because success requires readiness. An opportunity can arrive, but if you're not prepared, you won't be able to seize it. That's why patience and preparation go hand in hand with timing. When you prepare consistently, you'll be ready when the window opens. It's also important to recognize that setbacks don't always mean failure. Sometimes delays are life's way of saying, not yet. What feels like rejection may actually be protection, keeping you from something you're not ready for or aligning you with something far better. The truth is, you can't control when opportunities appear, but you can control whether you're prepared when they do. That's why timing is everything. If you learn to trust the seasons of your life, acting when it's time, waiting when it's not, you'll realize that every delay and every open door is part of a bigger plan. 7. The role of faith and inner strength. When life gets tough, two things can carry you further than anything else: faith and inner strength. Without them, challenges feel heavier, setbacks seem permanent, and it becomes easy to doubt yourself. But with them, even the hardest road becomes possible to walk. Faith is believing in something bigger than yourself. For some, it's faith in God. For others, faith in life's process or in their own vision. Whatever form it takes, faith keeps you steady when the outcome isn't clear. It's that quiet voice that whispers, "Keep going. This isn't the end." even when everything around you says otherwise. Inner strength, on the other hand, is built through struggle. It's not about never feeling weak. It's about rising after you've been knocked down. Every time you face a difficulty and refuse to quit, you strengthen your inner core. Just like muscles grow by lifting weight, your resilience grows by carrying life's challenges. Together, faith and inner strength create balance. Faith gives you hope when logic says there's none. Inner strength gives you the courage to take action, even when fear shows up. Without faith, we lose vision. Without strength, we lose the will to act. But when both work together, they become unstoppable. Think of people who've endured hardships, loss, poverty, illness, rejection. What sets them apart isn't that life was easier for them. It's that they had faith that things could get better and the inner strength to keep moving forward until they did. The role of faith is also to remind you that delays are not denials. Sometimes things don't happen when you want, but that doesn't mean they never will. Faith teaches patience. Inner strength teaches persistence. And those two qualities together build unshakable confidence. Whenever you feel like giving up, ask yourself, am I leaning on my faith? Am I tapping into my inner strength? Because the truth is, external circumstances will always change, but these two qualities stay with you no matter what. Life becomes less about what happens to you and more about how you respond. With faith in your heart and strength in your spirit, you can walk through storms and still come out standing. 8. How persistence beats talent and luck. We often admire people who seem naturally gifted or incredibly lucky. It's easy to believe that success is reserved for those with extraordinary talent or fortunate circumstances. But if you look deeper, you'll find that the real game changer isn't talent or luck. It's persistence. Talent may give you a head start, but persistence decides whether you finish the race. Think of it this way. Someone can be naturally skilled at music, business, or sports, but if they don't practice consistently, that talent fades. On the other hand, a person with average skill who refuses to quit will eventually surpass the talented one who gave up too soon. Persistence turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Luck, too, is often misunderstood. Opportunities may come by chance, but seizing them depends on persistence. If you're not prepared or willing to keep showing up, good luck passes you by. In fact, many people we call lucky were simply persistent. They kept going long enough to be in the right place at the right time. History proves this over and over. Thomas Edison famously said he didn't fail 1,000 times. He discovered 1,000 ways that didn't work before inventing the light bulb. Michael Jordan, often called the greatest basketball player of all time, admitted he missed more shots than he made. But persistence kept him practicing until excellence became his norm. The beauty of persistence is that it's not dependent on natural gifts. It's a choice. You don't need to be the smartest, fastest, or most talented person in the room. You just need to be the one who refuses to stop. Persistence transforms effort into mastery and turns setbacks into stepping stones. Another overlooked benefit of persistence is the confidence it builds. Each time you push through difficulties, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Over time, this inner belief becomes stronger than any challenge you face. The truth is, talent and luck may open doors, but only persistence keeps them open. If you keep moving forward, no matter how slow, you'll eventually reach places talent alone can't take you. So when you feel discouraged, remember, persistence doesn't just beat talent and luck, it makes you unstoppable. 9. Why listening to the right words shifts mindset. Words are powerful. They shape the way we think, influence how we feel, and guide the choices we make every day. A single phrase can inspire you to take action or convince you to give up. That's why listening to the right words at the right time can completely shift your mindset and, ultimately, your life. Think about moments when someone's encouragement lifted you up. Maybe a teacher told you that you had potential, or a friend reminded you not to quit. Those words may have seemed simple, but they carried weight because they planted belief in your mind. On the other hand, negative words like, "you'll never make it," can sit in your thoughts and drain your confidence if you let them. The reason the right words are so powerful is because they act like seeds. Once planted in your mind, they grow into beliefs, and those beliefs shape your actions. Hearing, "You can do this, keep going," during a tough time might be the spark that helps you push forward instead of giving up. Another reason words matter is because they help reframe challenges. For example, instead of seeing failure as the end, the right message can remind you it's just feedback, a lesson to adjust and try again. That small shift in perspective can be the difference between quitting and persevering. Even great leaders, athletes, and thinkers credit much of their success to the voices they chose to listen to. Mentors, coaches, scriptures, or motivational messages. They understood that mindset is everything, and the words you allow into your mind shape that mindset. In today's world, where negativity is everywhere, being intentional about what you listen to is crucial. Uplifting words, whether from books, videos, faith, or positive people, act like fuel. They don't remove the obstacles, but they strengthen you to face them with clarity and hope. The truth is, your life follows the direction of your dominant thoughts, and your thoughts are shaped by the words you hear most often. So surround yourself with messages that build, not break. Because sometimes one encouraging word is all it takes to unlock the strength that was already inside you. 10. This video as a possible turning point moment. Sometimes the smallest moments create the biggest shifts. A single choice, a single word, or even a single video can become the spark that changes the direction of your life. That's what makes turning points so powerful. You often don't see them coming, yet when you look back, you realize that moment was the beginning of something new. This video might be one of those moments for you, not because the words themselves are magical, but because they arrived at the right time. Maybe you've been doubting yourself, feeling stuck, or wondering if your effort even matters. Then you clicked on this video. That choice, as small as it seems, could be a turning point, because it's a reminder not to give up just yet. Turning points rarely come wrapped in fireworks or grand events. More often, they show up quietly, like a whisper in your heart saying, "Keep going." They're found in the decision to try again after failure, to believe in yourself when others don't, or to hold on when everything inside you says let go. This video is here to remind you that you are closer to your breakthrough than you think. What if today is the day you decide to stop doubting and start trusting? What if this message is the one that helps you shift your perspective, renew your strength, and keep walking toward your goal? The beauty of life is that we all get multiple turning points, but only if we recognize them. And recognizing one doesn't require a dramatic change. It starts with a simple decision. I won't quit. I'll keep going. That decision can transform your future. So consider this moment, not just another video you watch, not just background noise. Consider it a possible turning point, a reminder that your story isn't over, that the best chapters are still ahead, and that sometimes the most ordinary moment becomes the one that changes everything. Remember, your breakthrough could be closer than you think. Keep moving forward with faith and persistence. Comment, "I am ready for my breakthrough." Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Quantum Core.